Hey guys, I hope everybody's doing well. Figure I would make a little video lesson for everybody. We just went over, you guys just did a worksheet on machine identification, and I figured I got a couple doors I need to make for my shed, and what a better thing to do than show you how I do it and show you some of the machines that you were learning about yesterday and today. And here we go. This is one of the machines that we'll be using. Okay, you may recognize it from what we have at school. All right. Okay, these are sawhorses. We didn't talk about those yet, but that's going to be, I'm going to use those later for holding my material. Here's another one that you guys were checking out. We have this one as well. And then over on the table here, I have a few different things here. I'm going to show you how that one works. These are all one type of machine, but they kind of do a little bit different things. And then of course we have these right here, which were not on the list. These are nail guns. This big one here, that's a framing nailer. Then this one that's a little bit smaller, that's a finish nailer. Uses different nails. I'll show you those in a second. This one is a brad nailer, very similar to the finish nail gun, but this one uses a smaller nail. And this one is a staple gun. That's the one that we're actually going to be using today. So the framing nailer uses, these are common nails. They have the head on them. Okay, and they're in a long row, and they're going to be using the little red machine that I showed you a minute ago. These are the finish nails. Okay, these happen to be 2.5 inches long. All right, the gauge of this is 16 gauge, and you can see that these nails are very similar on the brad nailer, but they are definitely a little bit thinner. These are an 18 gauge, and when you're putting molding up, you're going to want to use these two guns for that. And then the stapler, well, it uses staples. These are 1.25 inches long because we're going to be putting together material that is going to be 1.5 inches thick. We also have a few other items here. These are masonry bits. Those will drill into concrete, which I'm going to show you in just a minute. This is a dead blow hammer. That was on the hand tool sheet that we did. And these are some other holding devices. Okay, these are speed clamps or quick clamps, and these are just spring-loaded clamps. I'm going to be using those later as well. So this drill here, I'm going to use it to put a hole into concrete. So I need you to figure out what kind of drill this is. So here it goes. So you can see that it puts a hole right into that solid piece of concrete. Okay, now I'm going to use that saw I showed you before. I'm going to make a rip cut. I'm going to pass this over to my cameraman. Hold on one second, guys. Okay, so I put a special blade in this saw because we're going to be cutting plastic. So I put a plastic cutting blade in it, okay? I'm not going to tell you what the name of this saw is. You're going to have to tell me that when we're done. Cut up the rest of the pieces, and then I'll come back in just a minute. All right, so I just cut the 2 panels for the doors, and I cut a bunch of strips for the molding. What I need to do is I need to cut the length of the door now. So they're going to be 3 feet wide, and they're going to be 75.5 inches long. Come closer. Okay, so I'm making my mark at 75.5. Okay, this is the side I want to cut on. And then I'm going to take this, and you might recognize it from the drafting that we've been doing. This is just a giant T-square. And now I'm going to draw my line across my board. And then I'm going to take another saw, this one, and I'm going to cut the end of this board off. Okay, I want to set my depth first, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to loosen this, and I want to make sure that I don't go too deep, but I want to make sure I'm through the board so I can set it by locking it, this knob in place over here. Okay, you guys can look up what this saw is. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this out because I don't want to cut the board underneath. Go on the other side. Okay, and I'll do the same for the next. All right, so you've seen a few different tools that I've shown you, a couple different machines. Now we're on the next one. Okay, I'm making an angled cut with this. Okay, I'm making a 45-degree angle to make the framework that's going to go around the panel. Okay, so here we go. Come around. You'll notice that I have this right here, this little clamp that's helping hold these pieces down. When I do the rest of it, when I do the other cut on the other side, I'll do those one at a time so I can be more accurate. All right, guys, I got all the pieces cut with the angle. That angle is called a miter, okay, my 45-degree angle. And now I'm gonna use my nail gun, that's the stapler, to put the pieces on. Show you that. See, I have my corners mitered. Okay, and now we're going to use my staple gun to put everything in place. All right, first thing I want to do is I want to clamp this piece down. I'm going to put a couple clamps just to hold it temporarily. The staple gun. Okay, here's how you put the staples in. Slide this back, okay? And this is what my staples are going to look like. They're 1 inch and
Wait,
quarter.
you're supposed to say what it is?
Yeah, they didn't know what this was.
Okay.
This is the 1 1/4 inch staples. The material I have is 1.5 inches thick, so this way the staples won't go through. So what I want to do is I'm just going to tack a couple from the bottom. And I'll go around the rest of it. When it's all done, I'll show you what it looks like when it's finished. All right, guys, one more step here. Daniel is about to put some of the screws in using this drill right here. Hold on, let me check the other end. Come down here first. Go ahead, we're gonna put that one in. Put pressure on the back of the drill. Don't go so fast. A little more. A little more. Good. Okay. Hang on. Hang on. Okay, go ahead. Put pressure on the back. Okay, guys, here's the finished product. 2 doors, for the shed using a whole bunch of different machines. I'm going to need you to tell me what machines I used today. All right, guys, have a good day.